What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I am back with another Age of Mythology video essay. What a time to be alive. Today, I want to discuss something that's been on the back of my mind for quite some time. It's something that, over time, I've slowly drifted between one edge of the spectrum to the other edge. The issue up for discussion today is the Navy. Well, specifically the Age of Mythology Navy. I want to take you back to the glory days. I was a young whippersnapper, ready to prove to the world that I was more than just a random kid from a country town in Australia. I loaded up the original AoM, which we fondly refer to nowadays as vanilla, and quickly learned the importance of controlling your army, devoting most of my early learning to mastering the concept of micro. I would try to pull back my weakened Typicon, focus fire my Toxotes onto my opponent's low pierce armor units, and make sure my counter units were attacking the right units. All at the expense of my economy, mind you. Because of this, I'd really struggle to beat anyone who was actually strong at the game. They'd all out macroed me so hard, and even though I might win an initial fight against them, they'd come back moments later and smack me with a bigger army that not even the best players could out-micro, let alone little old me. It should be noted at this moment that Water played a slightly different role on Vanilla than it did on the Titans. Vanilla Water did not have shooting docks, so if you fall behind on water, you won't have something to retreat back to. You simply just lose. So this meant that rushing was king. Everyone was trying to advance as fast as they humanly can to get a slight edge on ship numbers to win easily. I remember distinctly watching a recorded game of Magyar playing as Thor, doing a crazy all-dwarf build, where he advanced at like 340 or something with 4 fishing ships, and thinking, my god, this is crazy overpowered. Anyway, this is where my love for the map Mediterranean started. My micro was at a higher level than the majority of players around my level, but my macro was really bad. So the only chance I had of beating people above my level was actually on this map, because if I could out-micro them, I would be able to get an insurmountable lead in economy that even my weaker macro abilities couldn't squander. I remember this game vividly. I was matched up against a player called Sunshine. At the time, I would never have beaten him on a land map, but we matched up on Mediterranean. I opened with a build I stole from the great DOD Spoeft and proceeded to out-micro him on water, or at least I thought I did. Claimed the economic advantage and converted the win. It was probably my first win against someone I thought was super high level, and it was on a map that everyone thought was the pinnacle of skill. I was super elated. I went on to pick Mediterranean at every chance I could get in tournament, very rarely dropping games to anyone, with maybe the exception of a good friend in AOL's Berserker, and later to one of the Kings of the Sea, Shadowfax. Time ticked on, Vanilla died a slow death, and I moved over to the Titans to play with all the cool kids. With shooting docks being added into the equation, the simple task of advance fast, out-micro and win went out the window. There was an element of strategy involved. Defending from a slightly worse position was now possible. I honestly think it took me and everyone else a solid 8 to 10 years to work out that the best play on Mediterranean is to advance at 430, put 3 docks down, and defend. Some top players nowadays still try to outplay their opponent and often get themselves into trouble. But the card hold fact right now is that so long as your micro isn't atrocious, you can simply defend for 5 minutes and have a good game. There are a few other strategies that we've seen, such as Egyptian and Norse's, like Chemo's fast 2-town center is Ra, Soup half fighting water, half fighting land, and even the tried and true Isith's fast heroic. But the current consensus is that if they were to become commonplace, they would end up being solved and not finding wins. We've gotten this far into this topic and I haven't even touched the other water maps. Navy isn't just for heavy water maps. There's also maps like Midgard, Anatolia, Calm Shores, and all the different variants that we see from competitive Mega Random. Without getting too much into the specific details, these maps all follow the same logic. Get all of your fish, build archer ships, attack, and defend. The longer I play this game, the more I feel that this one exciting fact, this skill that I devoted countless hours to developing, is simply not what strategy games are about. When I play Medit, there isn't any thinking going on. 100% of the focus is making sure I deal as much or more damage per second than my opponent. I don't have to think about what army composition he's making. I don't have to make decisions about what sort of resources I need to gather. It's just all preloaded. And this is where the problem lies. If we compare land strategy to water strategy, it's no contest. Every moment of the game, I need to make a decision based on what my opponent is doing. Oh, he swapped out of infantry into cavalry. I better stop making counter infantry and start making counter cav. Oh wow, he's building only arch units. Maybe I can tech into pierce armor and get an advantage. Oh damn it, he grabbed a TC. Now I either have to play from behind or try to hit a timing attack to punish him. This stuff just doesn't happen on water maps. Why? I think the reason is simple. You only get one unit to pick from to train. You can't upgrade that unit, and you can't build anything else on the water. Now maybe I'm pushing it with building stuff on the water. Perhaps some sort of traps thing could be possible in a more advanced era RTS game, but back in ancient times, not really. So let's table that idea and focus on what we can do. There are currently 3 different types of ships available to train. The archer ship, the hammer ship, and the siege ship. The archer ship beats the hammer ship ship beats the siege ship beats the archer ship. A perfect triangle, right? However, here is where the problem lies. The hammer and siege ship are unlocked in the heroic age. You also unlock an upgrade for all 3 of them in the heroic age. My first question is a simple one. Why? What is the reason all 3 can't be available in the classical age where the majority of naval combat occurs? Why is there only one line upgrade for the Navy? Surely adding an extra one would only add to the strategic decision-making process in a positive way. And finally, why aren't a vast majority of the unique technological upgrades for Navy hidden away in the mythical age? That all may be too complicated to fix, and perhaps there is a valid reason for something there, but my thoughts are as follows. AoM Navy, as it is often regarded by top players who have played multiple Age of Empires games as the most fun to play. If you paid attention to Age of Empires 4's Navy at launch, unfortunately it was kind of all over the place. I've heard that they have improved it quite significantly now, however. When AoE 2DE launched, there was an attempt to fix the Navy there as well from what I hear, and it was quite positively received. So my request now is that with AoM Retold, perhaps all that is needed to add some strategic variety is unlocking the Navy in the classical age and adding 1 or 2 extra upgrades per ship type to add some extra resource decision making and timing aspects to the water fight. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments below and any other improvements you might want for the Navy in Age of Mythology Retold. My name's Boit, #make Medit great again.